What if the very essence of life, from the smallest leaf to the most complex thought, is simply light captured and transformed? Imagine a world where every breath you take, every color you see, and even the glow of a firefly are all part of an ancient, ongoing conversation with photons. In this episode, we're exploring the living light and discovering how the story of life is fundamentally the story of light itself. Light is not only the architect of the world, it is the breath of life itself. Every leaf, every coral reef, every human eye depends on the ability of living matter to catch photons and translate them into energy or meaning. Through photosynthesis, life converts light into sustenance. Through vision, it converts light into knowledge. Through bioluminescence, it learns to speak back in brightness of its own making. From the first cyanobacteria to modern cities aglow at night, the story of life is the story of light captured and released. Roughly 3.5 billion years ago, early bacteria discovered a way to steal energy directly from sunlight. Using pigments such as bacteriochlorophyll and later chlorophyll A, they performed photosynthesis, absorbing photons to boost electrons into higher energy states, driving chemical reactions that converted carbon dioxide and water into sugars. Sunlight became metabolism. The formula is simple yet cosmic. 6 carbon dioxide plus 6 water plus photons, 1 glucose plus 6 oxygen. In that symmetry lies Earth's golden contract. Plants generate oxygen and food. Animals consume both and return carbon dioxide. Every breath we exhale is the cost of that luminous economy. In plants, chlorophyll absorbs mostly in blue and red wavelengths, reflecting green, the signature of living light reception. Inside each leaf, sunlight penetrates to chloroplasts, descendants of ancient photosynthetic bacteria living symbiotically within plant cells. Layer upon layer of thylakoid membrane captures photons through antenna complexes, channeling energy toward reaction centers where electrons are stripped from water molecules. The liberated oxygen drifts into atmosphere. Hydrogen forms the foundation of carbohydrates and ultimately our own flesh. If light could think, this is what it would dream: to become leaf, soil, animal, thought, to feed itself back into awareness. For the first 2 billion years of Earth's history, the atmosphere contained little oxygen. Photosynthetic microbes changed that. The Great Oxygenation Event, around 2.4 billion years ago, filled oceans and air with oxygen, rusting the planet's iron and enabling complex multicellular life. It also triggered the first mass extinction. Organisms poisoned by the new reactive gas perished, replaced by those adapted to breathe it. Light thus proved both creator and destroyer, too powerful for innocence to endure unchanged. Even now, about 300 billion tons of carbon pass annually through photosynthetic circuits. The Amazon rainforest alone produces 20% of Earth's oxygen. If you're finding this exploration of light's vital role in life as illuminating as we are, consider hitting that subscribe button and joining us for more journeys into the universe's incredible connections. And in the oceans, microscopic phytoplankton perform half of all photosynthesis. Billions of invisible lungs brightening the planet one photon at a time. The first land plants borrowed similar pigments, but evolved new architectural tricks. Their leaves spread horizontally to capture maximum light while minimizing overheating. Their stomata, tiny pores, regulated gas exchange, closing by night, opening with dawn's arrival like eyelids greeting the star that gives reason for waking. In this choreography, the whole biosphere breathes in sync with sun's daily rhythm. Forests amplify that pulse. Their canopies filter sunlight into hues that nurture diversity. Red undergrowth for low-light shrubs, speckled gold for ferns, green shade for moss. Such stratified lighting turned jungles into cathedrals of living glass. If photosynthesis is light captured, bioluminescence is light created. Across oceans and caves, creatures generate cold radiance through chemical reaction between luciferin and luciferase, producing photons without significant heat. Despite the biblical echo, the Latin Lucifer simply means light-bearer. From anglerfish lures to firefly lanterns, nature perfected incandescent communication long before humanity invented lamps. In ocean mid-depths, the mesopelagic twilight zone, nearly 90% of animals glow. Some flash to startle predators, some pulse to court mates, others camouflage themselves by matching the faint downwelling blue, erasing silhouette against the dim sky of the sea. This last trick, counter-illumination, lets squid and shrimp hide their presence by shining gently from their bellies, proving that invisibility is sometimes achieved by light, not shadow. But if nature has perfected the art of living light, from the silent glow of the deep sea to the synchronized dance of fireflies, what happens when humanity tries to mimic this ancient magic? What profound secrets are we unlocking as we learn to engineer living systems, not just under light, but with light? And how might this change our future? Bioluminescence is not the only biological messaging system using photons. Many creatures perceive polarized or ultraviolet light invisible to us. Bees read ultraviolet patterns guiding them toward nectar. Mantis shrimp discern 12 color channels where humans see 3, detecting polarization for communication and predation. Butterfly wings and peacock feathers shimmer through structural color, microscopic ridges diffracting light like natural holograms. Some species combine reflection and emission. Deep-sea flasherfish use both bioluminescence for lures and iridescent scales for camouflage, alternating between their own light and that borrowed from others, a dialogue of emission and echo. These strategies reveal a broader principle. Life does not merely endure light, it converses with it. Photons are both sustenance and sentence. Among Earth's organisms, none manipulated light more consciously than we do. The eye's retina houses 120 million rods and 6 million cones. When a photon strikes rhodopsin within those cells, a single molecule changes shape, triggering a neural cascade interpreted as vision. Each image we see begins with one quantum event, microscopic yet immediate, turning physics into awareness. Evolution linked eyes and brains so tightly that 30% of the human cortex serves visual processing. In essence, our intelligence is photonic. Light becomes thought, and thought returns as art, invention, or wonder. Culturally, we have never ceased amplifying that act. Fire, candles, electricity, cinema, fiber optics, all extend the retina's reach. Modern science continues converting photonic biology into human tools. Solar cells imitate chlorophyll's function, transforming photons into electricity through semiconductors rather than enzymes. Where a leaf turns sunlight into sugar, a solar panel turns it into electrons. Different media, same principle. At microscopic scales, researchers exploit fluorescent proteins derived from jellyfish, allowing scientists to map neural circuits by color. Each glowing neuron within a brain slice is a continuation of ocean light, brought onto land as instrument. Medicine uses light as cure as well as probe. Photodynamic therapy targets cancer cells with chemical compounds activated by specific wavelengths. Optogenetics inserts light-sensitive channels into neurons to control behavior with precision flashes. Our species has begun to engineer living systems not merely under light, but with it. Nature operates on a solar income. Every calorie consumed, fossil or fresh, traces back to trapped sunlight. Coal and oil are ancient compressed photosynthesis, forests rendered into mineral time. Burning them is withdrawing from a photosynthetic bank long since closed. It releases into the air the same carbon life once borrowed from death. Renewable energy reopens the living account. Each photovoltaic array, each wind turbine moving on thermal gradients realigns human technology with biospheric rhythm, once again living by current light, not stored flame. In doing so, we mimic the first algae, returning industry to photosynthetic morality. Take only what falls. Plants engineer their photonic environment with quiet genius. Leaves organize to avoid self-shadowing, adjusting angles seasonally. Some desert plants coat themselves with reflective hairs to reduce ultraviolet damage. Others display red anthocyanins that act as sunscreen, filtering excess brightness. On forest floors, shade-tolerant plants shift chlorophyll ratios, maximizing low-energy photons. Each adaptation is a negotiation between hunger for light and fear of fire. New research examines photonic crystals within leaves, microstructures that enhance light absorption by guiding photons into deeper tissue, much like fiber optics. Even non-luminous organisms emit faint light. All metabolic reactions involving oxygen produce reactive species that occasionally release photons. These biophotons, 1 billion times weaker than candlelight, can be detected with ultra-sensitive instruments. Their significance remains debated, perhaps merely chemical noise, perhaps subtle signaling between cells. The idea that living systems glow invisibly resonates with ancient intuition, that vitality has radiance, that being alive literally means shining a little. Cities at night resemble galaxies seen from orbit, clusters of brightness organized by roads instead of gravity. Each bulb is humanity's imitation of bioluminescence, our species declaring presence across continents. Yet this living light exacts cost. Energy, pollution, stars lost from sight. To rediscover harmony, we now seek technologies that emulate fireflies rather than overpower them. Organic LEDs woven into fabrics, biodegradable glow paints powered by microbes, architecture illuminated from inside by living cultures of light-emitting bacteria. Scientists in 2026 experiment with algae-lined urban lamps that photosynthesize by day and glow softly by night, recycling their own energy. It is biotech poetry. Streets lit by chloroplast descendants paying back photons borrowed from the sun. If you've been enlightened by the profound connection between light and life, make sure to subscribe for more incredible journeys through the cosmos. And to continue your exploration of the universe's wonders, click on the video appearing on your screen right now.